We are going to review stashing in Git. Quickly, let's begin with a live example. Let's say I'm working on a feature or story, and after making changes, I realize I started on the wrong branch. We can stash our changes, switch to the new branch, and unstash our changes to keep working. If you're following along, use any repo on your system that has files and commits and make one or more modifications. For the video, I'm using a mocked repository with in-flight changes. Drop into your terminal and type git status to see the changes. Then git stash to create a stash. And one more time, git status to verify the repo is clean. Switch to a different branch where we will apply our in-flight changes. Run git stash apply to give new life to our changes and git status one more time to review the results. Congrats, you've worked your first stash. Use a stash when you need to save off local modifications to do something else, such as apply changes to a different branch, work on something totally different, try a different idea, or something along those lines. Creating a stash will take all changes from working tree and index and save them to your local repository and undo the local modifications. Stashes are not collaborative or shareable. Stashes are a LIFO data structure, which means the last stash in is the first stash out. A stash uses only files tracked by the repo. If you want to stash untracked files, use the -- include -untracked flag. Git will undo all pending changes in your repo after creating a stash. To keep your changes after the stash, use a workaround where the first step is to stage the changes and then stash with the -- keep -index flag. Git uses a nondescript message for your stash. Use your own message with git stash save and then in double quotes your actual message. Deleting your repo will delete all of your stashes. To restore a stash, you can apply it or pop it. To use git stash apply means to preserve the stash after restoring the changes. This is the option I always use because who knows when you will fat finger something and wish that stash was still available. To use git stash pop means to discard the stash after restoring the changes. Use this only if you're a savage. In our first example, let's stash an untracked file. Create a new file in your repo. When finished, git status to see the untracked file. Stash everything with git stash -- include -untracked, then again git status. Now we see our working directory is clean. In our second example, preserve the changes after the stash. Modify a file in your repo. When finished, git status to see the modified file. Use the workaround. Stage your changes and then stash with git stash -- keep -index, then again git status. Now we see our index has been retained. A few bits of information before closing. View all of your stashes with git stash list. Notice how each stash is referenced with a number. You can view meta information about your most recent stash with git stash show. Now, if you want to restore a specific stash, use the command on screen. Or delete a specific stash using the command on screen. That about totally summarizes stashes in Git. Now, go forth and stash with confidence.